This is the day transport operators threatened they would withdraw services unless government removes at least 5 taxes on petroleum products they describe as useless. The ultimatum seeks to force a reduction in fuel prices so they won't have to increase transport fares.
From 6 o'clock up to 3 o'clock, we will take the workers to workplace. And from 3 o'clock, we cease to work. We will not work again. Till this that we have pointed out have been reduced or have been cancelled at all. Till then, we will work. But if somebody is here listening, I'm telling them they should get their food basket ready. They should prepare everything at home. Drivers are not going to move out. Be in trailer, be it truck, be it online, be in tipper truck, be in Aboboya, even Okada.
All right, so very sorry for that hitch there, but you heard the transport operators. There's some good news on the ultimatum. There's some good news, though. Just last night on PM Express, government has been given some more time to act on the demand of the transport operators for the taxes to be scrapped. So today on the show, we're bringing the conversation to you out there on the streets. We're all aware how an increase in fuel prices affects the price of virtually every other item or service. So no one wants to see the fuel price go up. But the taxes slapped on fuel go into government's chest, from which chest funds are channeled to fund development projects. So knowing this, would you rather the taxes are scrapped so the development project in your community is sacrificed or postponed, or bear with an increase in transport fares so you get the development project? I'll be coming to a trotro and bus terminal near you, so be on the lookout. That's why I'm dressed like this, ready for the trotro. Let's also get what you hear. Let's also get what you think about it on our social media handles. Now, while at it, our hearts also go out to you who have been affected by the recent tidal phenomenon in Keta and surrounding communities. Some relief has reached some of you, while others are yet to get any. We'll be checking in on the situation. And then there's more NSMQ trivia. All that plus the AM news. Mapito will be here in a bit. Sports and the news review. And guess who's back? Do stay tuned in.
Hello, good morning and welcome to the AM News with me, Mapito Sibiri. In our first story, Member of Parliament for Biom, Kofi Adams, is threatening to haul before Parliament Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensa, to answer questions over the delay in the creation of a constituency for electorates in the Guan areas. According to him, the absence of an MP in the area has piled pressure on him, explaining he's been forced to attend to the needs of electorates in that affected areas. Speaking to Joy News, the former national organizer of the NDC asked the EC to immediately draft a CI to guide the creation of a new constituency for electorates in the Guan areas.
Say that the delay is unfortunate, because this is something that the Electoral Commission should have speedily acted, because they were the ones who wrote the letter indicating that the area that now forms the Guan district would not take part in the election of a member of parliament on the 7th of December 2020. That letter came out the night of 5th December, after they have packed voting material, including parliamentary ballot papers, in the ballot boxes. So the district electoral officer forced open the ballot boxes and removed the parliamentary ballot papers from the box. That was what happened. So from then till now, they should have taken the necessary step to bring a CI before this parliament to create a constituency. Then the decision as to what happens thereafter will be taken by all of us, whether because they did not take part in electing a member of parliament, they will be given the opportunity to elect one who will join this 8th parliament, or they are now assured that they have a constituency and that come 2024, they will fully participate. Then that decision can be taken. But this continuous delay by the Electoral Commission is unfair to the people of Guan District. It's unfair to Ghanaians who find themselves in that area and every other person who must be represented. It is putting pressure on me as a member of parliament for Buem, who have to attend to some needs in that area.
Honorable, this is not the first time I've heard you make this pronouncement, and you're a member of parliament. Is there a possibility that you trigger some tools available to get the chair of the EC to brief the House on the reason for the delay?
Well, that's the next action that I want to look at. I love to engage and do a lot of behind-the-scenes activities. I will continue to do that. If I get no indication that they will want to fulfill that by the next meeting, then I would have to use other means to bring them to come and answer in a way to Parliament why the continuous delay.
Meanwhile, Parliament on Wednesday was forced to adjourn abruptly because members present did not form a quorum to transact business. Member of Parliament for Adaklu, Kwame Agboza, first raised the concern, but his colleagues on the Majority Caucus objected it. Deputy Majority Leader Afenyo Marking argued that some members are involved in committee meetings and, by extension, engaged in parliamentary business. Listen to the debate on the floor.
And act in the interest of the nation, where we know that members can be unavoidably absent in the chamber, but will be carrying out parliamentary duty. This morning, for instance, the Committee of Defense and Interior members were at National Security. Subsidiary legislation has been sitting. All I'm trying to say is that if we assume quorum to be suddenly arising, then we will be ambushing our own bona fides as members of Parliament in this chamber.
It's this same house that made a rule that committee sittings take place after adjournment. So it's either we are saying committee sittings take place after adjournment or not. But currently, the rule is that committee sittings are supposed to take place after adjournment. Mr. Speaker, putting all these things together, I want my colleague also to be aware that since Parliament resumed, we've never had quorum at the start, most of the time. Yet we continue to work in cooperation.
Shakespeare says in Macbeth, there is no art to find the mind's construction in the face. Kwame, is it the case? I don't know your mind. I don't know what is in there. But Kwame, I am unable to tell your mind's construction in your handsome face. Is there anything ulterior other than what you are doing?
Rules. We all know what is right. And the lesson from today, which must be going into tomorrow and subsequently, is to ensure, or must lead to ensuring, that honorable colleagues come to the House punctually and to conduct business. Based on that, Mr. Speaker, I rise under the authority given to members of Parliament under Order 41(1)(a) of our standing orders, which is express that at any time prior to 3 minutes before the stated time for concluding a sitting, a member may move for the adjournment of the House. Based on Order 41(1)(a), I respectfully ask, Mr. Speaker, that proceedings be adjourned to tomorrow.
But Second Deputy Speaker Andrew Asiama, after listening to the debate, resolved to adjourn proceedings abruptly. He described the absence of the MPs as embarrassing.
We cannot suspend the House again. It's past 2, so I'll go ahead to adjourn the House to tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the forenoon. Honorable members, I think this House is embarrassed. The cameras are on us. We deliberately suspended the House for 1 hour just to make sure we get the numbers. Yet, we couldn't make out the numbers. I've counted and counted and counted and counted. We still have not made the numbers. Please, let's advise ourselves. The House stands adjourned.
Away from that, the government's digitalization agenda has necessitated the launch of several web and mobile applications aimed at making Ghana a beacon of digital innovation. Joy News conducted a survey from January 2021 to October 2021 on 7 apps created by state institutions for the Ghanaian public. Now, the survey established that the apps are performing below expectations. Love FM's Chrissy Deborah has more in this report.
The electricity app, ECG app, at first it was working perfectly, but lately it has not been working.
Okay, I know the GPS. They advertised this, I found out. I used to find my house digital address, and I deleted it after.
I've heard about the GPS, but I heard it from a friend, but I've never used it before. I don't know what it says. And I don't know what it is used for. Like, I'm not familiar with it, but then I've heard about it.
Our survey saw the Ghana Post GPS come tops with more than 1 million downloads, followed by the ECG Power with half the number. Ghana Library gleaned more than 10,000 downloads. Citizens Eye, Ghana Water Company Limited electronic billing app, and Ghana.gov had downloads of 1,000, 500 and 100 respectively. We've also been analyzing the reviews of the selected apps, looking at both negative and positive comments, as well as the likes and the comments. The Ghana Post GPS recorded 869 comments and likes, with all of them being negative. We found complaints of app crashing during address saving and registration confirmation code problems that had persisted since 2017. The ECG Power recorded 2,045 comments and likes. The positive ones sadly managed 3.5% of this number. The Ghana Water Company electronic billing app garnered 2 comments and likes. Ghana PAYE was impressive with 100% positive comments, and Ghana Library made away with 73% positive comments. But their combined reviews, which couldn't even reach 50, wasn't enough to make practical analysis. Citizens Eye, GWCL electronic billing app, and Ghana.gov, however, recorded 0 reviews.
So I actually downloaded, for the ECG app, I have downloaded it for some time now. I think about 2 months ago, but after registration, I've never been able to use it. Anytime I try to use it, after inputting the Momo details and everything, it gets back to me with an error. And I remember the day it happened, the first time I tried to, I called customer care and they said it is a known issue with Kumasi, but then still I don't get the thing to work. Okay. And that's for the ECG app. For the GPS, I actually tried downloading it yesterday. One thing I've realized that after installing the app, the GPS, Ghana Post app, every time the GPS changes, you can be sitting at one place and the GPS will change. The signals are not consistent, and for each of those times, you kind of get a different house number, okay? And I also keep getting notification from Haptel that don't share your code, so the code keeps changing and all that. So I went outside and also tried to do it under open air, because GPS signals are usually good under open air. And still, even standing at the same place, I kept getting different house numbers.
If I could just log into a web platform and then just right away pick my location and then move on, it's doable. But then if I deny access to my location and then you try to restart the app, loop it up for me, I get frustrated and then I just uninstall it. And I don't do that again. So if, just like how Uber applications work, you can literally deny your location access, and then when you want to proceed to order for anything at all, you can just pick where you want to go to and then where you are, and then the system will still work perfectly for you.
So when the ECG app was developed, I was really happy about it, because the stress we go through to acquire our prepaid credits was about to go off. It started well, later we had 1 or 2 issues when you're even trying to connect. It tells you you don't have internet access, whilst you may. At times, such messages does not mean you don't really have internet access. But at times, you might have internet access, but the strength of your internet connectivity might be very down. Other situations, you might have situations where the server might not really be working and might be giving you that challenges. As I said, always when there is a link to customers for them to send reviews on apps, it's going to help you to better the performance of that software. The ECG system is not a bad system. I believe if they review it, it's really going to solve the issue they intended solving with it. Once I was facing challenges, I didn't move on with it. I had to delete it because I needed some space on mine. That is how software users do see softwares. If it becomes a white elephant on their devices, they'll really delete it. Don't go ahead to support because, one, they never paid money to acquire that software. It was a software developed for them for free. So they won't really put in much effort if it's giving them an issue.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
A task force has been formed to support the Food and Drugs Authority to fight against tobacco use in the northern region. The team will also share intelligence on tobacco control. Correspondent Martina Bugri has this report after members were trained on enforcement of tobacco regulation.
Estimated globally that more than 8 million people are killed annually due to tobacco use. In Ghana, according to Tobacco Atlas Ghana, over 807,600 people smoke cigarettes and other tobacco products. 75 men die weekly through smoking and the use of tobacco and its products. It is against this backdrop that the Food and Drugs Authority is intensifying its campaign against tobacco use. Head of Tobacco and Substance of Abuse Department at the Food and Drugs Authority, Dr. Mrs. Olivia Boatin, in an interview, said the northern region continues to experience high prevalence of tobacco use.
Especially for the snuff or the dry leaves, we found higher percentages in this sub-region. And so in the communities, our officers here are working in the communities to educate our folks, especially those who cannot read and write, because what we have for the illicit one or the commercial quantities have graphic health warnings to tell them that these are dangerous when you smoke, but for the cultivated or the dry leaves that they just snuff or put under their tongue, it doesn't have these pictures. So actively we are engaging the communities to let them know that even though you are not, it's not just the smoke that is dangerous and contain the nicotine that is very addictive and causes all the cancers we are talking about. Even the leaves, when dried and chewed, are as equally dangerous to your health, just like the combustible one.
She said even though Ghana has chalked some successes in the fight against tobacco use, there are new emerging trends like the use of shisha.
We've had, to a large extent, successes in ensuring that there's absolute bans of tobacco advertising, promotion and sponsorship. So you do not see giant billboards with tobacco ads. You do not see sponsorship with beauty pageants, all those ones. To a large extent, the registration, the regulation to ensure there's illicit tobacco trades are to a minimal level. We've been able to do that. But there are a few challenges, yes, because of the emerging trends that are coming up. So now we are having shisha to deal with.
Dr. Mrs. Boatin outlined some of the roles the task force will play.
We've realized that it is multifaceted. If we get national security, NIB, GRA, the police to assist us, share intelligence, they should see tobacco control, non-compliance and come to our aid. Basically, that's what this whole workshop is about. We've done several ones, but this one is a regional tour to train all other enforcement on tobacco regulation so that their roles can be spelled out. So at this workshop, we've done a work plan, an enforcement plan, and all other agencies will inculcate it in the plan, which we will share with them. There will be regular meetings, make updates, they'll give updates on what as a region, they've been able to achieve.
That's it for the AM News. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Mapisa CBD. The AM Show continues.
All right, so good morning once again, and it's time for the news review. And guess who's back?
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Hey, hey.
Are you going to tell the people? Did you go have a wedding or something?
No, I didn't. But I was off sick for a few days. But I'm better now, so I'm here.
Okay.
Yes.
Because the band is still there, we can see it.
Yeah, I actually changed it. So, yeah. This is what we're doing in our lives now. Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's so great to be back. Changing bands, you know. Changing lives.
And you're not telling anybody anything?
No, I'm not telling anybody anything. What I am telling everybody this morning, though, is what's in the Ghanaian Times. So how about we start with the Ghanaian Times this morning?
Okay, please.
Okay. that was smooth, eh? Smooth operator levels. Okay, so on the front page of the Ghanaian Times this morning, NTC, NRSA, others launch nationwide campaign against road crashes. Will support Electrochem to successfully develop Songo, that's according to Minerals Commission. Illicit items flood prisons due to the absence of scanning machines to check visitors and inmates. And that's quite serious, you know, because the scanning machines, if you watch like Orange is the New Black or you watch any of these prison series, you realize how so much is prevented, so many things are prevented at the point where, you know, people are being scanned, and knives, guns, all sorts of things, you know, things that can be used to commit suicide, blade, things that can be used to attack other people. So if we don't have scanning machines, and it's difficult, because are you really going to risk search?
We really don't have scanning machines there?
Yeah. It's, I don't know why you sound so surprised.
I'm surprised.
Okay,
I'm very surprised.
I'm not. Anyway, the lack of scanning machines at the country's prisons continue to affect the service's efforts in preventing the smuggling of illicit items into the cells by inmates and visitors. This Chief Superintendent, Achim, speaking, he is the Chief Superintendent of Prisons, and he says that, you know, some of the visitors bring mobile phones, narcotic drugs in their private parts and in their wigs, canned food, bars of soaps and meals, among others, during the search as entry point at the prisons. Some of the inmates also conceal contraband goods, in the human system, such as the anus. And if a search must be done, it requires the presence of a medical officer based on serious suspicion.
Okay, so these are things that the scanners can get. If people are hiding stuff in their anus,
I think some of the high-tech prisons have the, you know, not just the one, you know, like the machine one, the one that you walk through.
Like the one in front of Joy FM.
Well, yeah, that one. But then there's also like the X-ray one, that when the person passes through, you kind of get a view of.
Yeah, so it's probably the X-ray.
But for high-security prisons, you definitely need.
You need an X-ray.
Yeah, because as people are just, you know, bringing in cocaine and all sorts. So anyway, that's just another problem here in Ghana that has to be solved. Man in court for allegedly raping victim. Dozens of aid drivers arrested in Ethiopia. Tigray rebels raped women in the Amhara region. And it's so sad how women suffer so badly when, you know, there's all sorts of violence and suddenly, you know, it becomes an issue of rape. Really, really heartbreaking. Poland faces new migrant surge due to breached border. In whom was God's covenant with Abraham established? Ooh, Ishmael or Isaac? Oh, that sounds very interesting. Meanwhile, there's another editorial, Winner's Edge, self-honesty. Are you being honest to yourself these days? It's very easy to live, you know, in denial of everything. Have you seen something that's interesting for you?
No.
Okay. I can see something that's interesting for me, your short sleeve shit. Robust digitalization.
My trotro uniform. I'm going to board a trotro.
If everybody had such a delicious trotro uniform, wouldn't we all just take trotros for the fun of it? Yeah. Robust digitalization will provide dependable socio-economic transformation. Work together to incite national cohesion and inclusiveness. 1,602 prisoners granted pardon in 2020. That's according to the Vice President. Ghana partners Swedish-Swiss organizations to reduce emissions. Oh, this should be interesting for you. National Cathedral of Ghana to be ready by 2024. And that's in, well, two years? One. Yeah, the construction of the National Cathedral of Ghana, NCG, please note, it's called NCG, has commenced and it will be ready for use on March 7th, 2024. Why March 7th, though? Anyway, so Reverend Kusi Boateng says the 20,000 seating capacity cathedral will serve as a national interdenominational, we know all of this already. So, yeah, okay, so March 7th, 2024. And then, of course, there are all the ways that you can donate and send more. I wonder what's happening with all the hospitals and all of that we also promised to build. And no, it's not apples and oranges, in my opinion. It's actually very closely related in what is important to us. Reverend Owusu Bempa, 6 others slapped with 11 new charges. That's on page 15. Victims of tidal wave destruction returning home after receiving support from Assembly and NADMO. And that nationwide launch, that nationwide campaign against road crashes also has been launched. The NPA is warning against illegal petroleum trade at the Aflao border and GNMS to enforce household fire safety law soon. That's according to the PRO of the Ghana National Fire Service. Okay, Hungary pledges support for Ghana's water management. NRSA boss named West African Road Safety Ambassador. Human Rights Group organizes workshop on Ghana case tracking system. Investor confidence in Ghana stock exchange is high. We're not going to IMF for bailouts. That's according to Ken Ofuriata, Minister of Finance. Value of SMEs in ICT healthcare estimated at $39 million. That's very interesting. Abandon LNG importation plan. CSO budget forum tells government. Dawu Theatre of Dreams gets conditional approval. Oh, okay. That's the main venue for the Premier League club Dreams FC. So
it's actually Dawu.
Dawu. Okay. My aim is to raise African para sports to the next level. Africa wraps up World Cup group stage qualifiers. President to launch AG 2023 logo mascot soon. Kotoko players, legends, pockets 8,000. I wonder how Hearts of Folk is doing. Black Stars set for Ethiopia test. Well. Are you really?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay, we hear you. Also, the Black Stars.
It's our anniversary, actually.
When?
110 years since the club was founded.
Oh. So, what are you doing in sports?
Yeah, we have to win. Our games this weekend. Our game this week. Definitely, we have to.
Okay. Well, all the best to that. Black Stars will be facing Ethiopia in Joburg for the FIFA 2022 World Cup qualifier. Make us proud, boys. Make us proud. That's it for the Ghanaian Times.
Okay. So now that we're done with the Ghanaian Times, can we talk about the band?
No, we can't. Let's talk about the Daily Graphic. That's what we're here for.
Okay. So the Daily Graphic on the front page, dealing with youth unemployment, we must work together. That's former President John Mahama saying that. And I find it impressive that we have the former president having an event last night, and the Daily Graphic giving the former president the front page. The front page. It just goes to show that the kind of democracy we practice here in Ghana is
democratic.
It's a little better than. Well, it's a lot better than what's happening elsewhere, even though we have our own problems with the democracy we are practicing. But yeah, that's a conversation for another day. Okay, so let me get into it. And it was kind of like the kind of lectures that we used to have from Vice President. Okay, then running mate. Baumia.
Yeah.
It was a kind of thing. So anyway, he touched on a number of things. He says we need to work together as a nation and face youth unemployment head on. Former President John Mahama has declared. In doing that, he said the private sector needed full support to help resolve the troubling levels of joblessness. So joblessness was one of the main things he touched on, but that wasn't the only thing he talked about. So let me move to that story. Touched on a number of things. Yeah. So one of the things, he touched on government's approach to fighting unemployment. He didn't think that government had a plan. He says, Mr. Mahama said it was all clear that the government had no sustainable plan to address unemployment that continued to plague the country. The botched NABCO experiment has proved not to be the pathway and the means to an end, he said. Then he talks about the plan that the NDC had, what they had in their manifesto, and he says that government should feel free to use that plan and implement it. Don't charge them anything for it. He talks about technology and how you can use technology to resolve the unemployment challenge. And then he talks about the tax burden. And the tax burden, it's coming, his comments on the tax burden is coming at a time that everybody else is complaining. So he says, to further reduce the burden of unemployment, he said the government had a unit to lessen the tax burden on small and medium businesses. They, small and medium businesses, must be allowed to grow to become more innovative and expand their employment generation capacity. He said that the former president said the economic challenges confronting the nation called for the efficient and modest use of taxes accruing to the government. This is not the time for more taxes. The people are reeling under the heavy weight of existing taxes. This is the time for efficiency and the modest use of the taxes collected, he said. Okay, so that's former President John Mahama in his Thank Ghana address. Also on the front page of the Daily Graphic, chieftaincy disputes major security threats. That's Kandapar, and saying that story is on page 3. And EU to sanction Belarus over migrant influx. That's international news. And then UK Supreme Court blocks $4.3 billion action against Google. In health, essential health services patronage declines. So apparently, a number of people are still not going to the hospital because they fear they could catch COVID when they get there. But the Ghana Health Service is saying that the hospitals, all our health facilities are safe for patronage. The public must be confident in accessing essential health services. And this came up at the height of the pandemic when people just feared going to the hospital. There was a phobia because they felt that if you go to the hospital, you could catch COVID. The situation has improved, but apparently it's still not back to pre-pandemic levels. So, well, the Ghana Health Service is saying that, please, don't hesitate to go to the hospital if you're unwell. Go to the hospital if you have to. Then crackdown on driver indiscipline and in politics. Resort NADMO, Parliament urges government. The members of Parliament have appealed to the government to, as a matter of urgency, resource the National Development Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, to provide critical relief items to the 1,200 residents of the 3 constituencies in the Volta region who have been displaced by the recent tidal waves. So the figure here is 1,200, but the authorities, they're actually talking about 4,000 people. So yes, they need all that. So we are with the people of those affected communities, and we're urging the government to find money to complete the second phase of the Sea Defense Project. Name Kumasi Airport after Bafo Akoto. That's MPP youth saying that. Ghana marks day at COP26. And no IMF bailout despite debt size. That's the finance minister saying that. We have gone to the Eurobond market, I guess 4 out of the 5 years since we came. And those are always alternatives that we consider. Except the government itself has indicated that people are not taking up the bonds, or in fact selling off the bonds. And Ghana is not as attractive as it used to be when it comes to selling international bonds, which means that we would have to pay up a lot more if we go to the bond market. So it's something that we need to consider. Prices of goods services soared 11% in October. That will be inflation. And then Guta advises against new taxes in 2022 budget. So the Ghana Union of Traders Association, they're saying that they're appealing to government to use the 2022 budget to reduce the cost of doing business and strengthen companies to spur economic growth. Moving on, in the center spread, tap latest innovations, best practices, maritime stakeholders urge, and President Akufo-Addo, world leaders witness investiture of Neves. Cape Verde was in a crisis, as revealed and aggravated by the COVID-19 pandemic, whose effects had been profound, particularly at the socio-economic and emotional levels. So I'm just seeing this story in the center spread of the Daily Graphic, and I'm telling myself, elsewhere, President Akufo-Addo's story would have been front page.
Front page, yeah, of course. And then Mohammed's story would have been maybe
center spread. So yes, that's what I'm saying. I find it impressive that the Daily Graphic has done this, which is a national daily
newspaper. Yeah.
Okay, so EPA ready to partner Zoom Lion and others for clean environment, and then NADMO distributes relief items to tidal wave victims. I've been talking about that. So some relief has eventually gotten to the people of Keta and surrounding communities who are affected by that tidal phenomenon. So it's good. And, we're happy that it is happening. We've spoken to some of the people. They're saying that, well, it's not enough, but at least we're happy that they're getting something.
Yeah.
Okay. Journalist charged in Reverend Owusu Bempah case. Okay. Why? So police prosecutors have charged a journalist of the Despite Media Group for conniving with Reverend Isaac Owusu Bempah in the alleged threat to kill self-acclaimed fetish priestess turned evangelist Patricia Udro Kranting, a.k.a. Nana Agrada. The police said Kwame Amo, the journalist, interviewed Reverend Owusu Bempah, the general overseer of the Glorious Word Power Ministry International, on the day of the said event. The seventh accused person, that's Kwame Amo, who is a radio presenter, also went to the scene to interview the first accused, Reverend Owusu Bempah, thereby instigating the other accused persons and others at large. The prosecutor, Chief Inspector Dennis Tekpete, told the Accra Circuit Court yesterday. That's interesting.
Very interesting.
He was interviewing the person, so how does that
get him into trouble? Yeah.
So, sea waves disaster in Volta climate change issue. That's Professor Gajepo saying that. Then going to the other stories in the Daily Graphic. Oh, so it's the first anniversary since former President Rawlings died.
Yeah.
So there's an advert.
Remembrance service.
Yeah, there's an advert on in the Daily Graphic, page 33. It says, "In loving memory of Flight Lieutenant General Rawlings, retired former President of the Republic of Ghana, a loving president, husband, father, and friend to many, you will forever be missed, JJ. To live in the hearts of those we love is never to die, Thomas Campbell." So there's a remembrance service to mark the first anniversary of the passing of Flight Lieutenant General Rawlings. It's on Friday, November 12th, tomorrow at 9 a.m., the Holy Spirit Cathedral at Abaka, and the attire is white, formal, or traditional. And the event is open to the public. Okay, it's open to the public, but we're in COVID times.
No, I'm sure
we can't really pack people there.
It's really gone fast, hasn't it? 1 year already.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think that it was also all of a sudden or too soon. 1 year. It's the first anniversary. Okay. In showbiz, juju in music industry is real. Really?
That's interesting, yeah.
AK Songstress. So dancehall artist AK Songstress had heard of the use of black magic, known in local parlance as juju, but had no idea that she would have an experience with it. According to the songstress, since her latest song, Jonathan, which she released about a month ago, gained international appeal, she has been receiving spiritual attacks. Hey, really? Okay. So, well, yeah, that's a story in the Daily Graphic. You can grab the copy of the Daily Graphic and get to read some more. Now, let me take you to, why should I pay for a service I will never need? Ask Dr. Frank Asare Donko. And this has to do with the National Road Safety towing levy, which appears to be coming back. Then Ash Gold will be our next victim, Faisal Skipper warns. MTN present 50,000 Ghana cedis for swag awards. Gold Stars will stop Kotoko at Bibiani. That's Accra ref saying that. And then on the back page, Stars can't falter against Ethiopia today. And Hazaka's ladies to maintain unbeaten run. Right, that'll be it for the Daily Graphic.
Okay, well, we're going to go to My Joy Online in a minute, but let me just do a few stories from the Daily Guide this morning. So one that caught my eye, back page of the Daily Guide, Antonio Conte speaking again. He's a Tottenham Hotspur's manager, and he's banned ketchup and mayonnaise from the players' fields, also sandwiches and other things. Remember that he's the coach who said that, you know, the boys should focus
have sex
on
with
just
their wife.
having sex with their wives, because then they're not required to put in
exerting themselves.
An amazing performance. So, anyways, some entertainment. Kidi Kwame Eugene to Rock Ghana DJ Awards. Gospel act MQB drops all the glory. Cuts the ethnocentric gimmick. Akans helped the Northerners Liman and Mahama to win power. Okay, that's on the entertainment page. We're not sure why it's there. And then there's a piece in honor of Fela Ransom Kuti. If you're a Fela Kuti fan, his music is pretty amazing. His intros, though, is so long, right, before you get to the actual song. But then one could argue that the intro is part of the actual song, so depends. Some international stories. Dozens of aid drivers arrested in Ethiopia. At least 26 children die in Niger school fire. Marie Antoinette's bracelets sell at auction for $8 million. And Trump bid to block Capitol riot records rejected. German COVID surge prompts warning of 100,000 deaths. Those are some international stories, but let's go to myjoyonline.com and get some of our online stories.
Before then, let me bring you this story where in the Business Finder, government is dropping hints, or the information minister is dropping hints that we're likely to see some new taxes introduced. So it says 30 billion cedis, Ghana cedis due state, not forthcoming, limiting development efforts. So it is estimated that revenues due government valued at between 8 and 12% of gross domestic product from various economic activities in the country do not get to government. And the information minister is saying that obviously we would need to introduce some new broad-based taxes if we are to rake in the needed revenues to deliver what our people desire. New taxes may have to be imposed on items that exclude the poor and do not have high cascading effects, so that it does not increase the difficulties that the Ghanaian is going through. So, well, you've been warned.
Okay, let's quickly do myjoyonline.com before we hand over to sports. So on the front page of myjoyonline.com, NPP government is our common national tragedy.
Hey.
Wow, that's Mahama to Ghanaians. And I'm sure at some point yesterday he must have said that. Common national tragedy, right? CNT. Okay, 16 driver unions suspend intended strike over fuel prices. Mahama criticized government over unwillingness to acknowledge economic problems. Anti-LGBTQ bill, parliament to begin public hearing today. 2021 BEC is scheduled to begin next Monday, November 15th. Mahama blames unbudgeted consumption and expenditure before election 2020 for current state of the economy. Scrapping of levies in the price build-up could compromise the quality of fuel at the pumps. We received only 7 mattresses from NADMO and Volta Region Tidal Wave. Students of Fuverme Basic School forced to study in 2 classrooms. Okay, well, that's it for My Joy Online. Lots and lots more stories if you just pop onto that site. So we're going to take a quick break, and Muftal is going to bring you the sports after that. Izzy is going to head out and jump on a trotro, and I'm sure he doesn't even remember what that feels like to be on a trotro.
Really?
On a trotro. But he's going to jump on a trotro and let us know what's like, how the drivers really feel about, you know, what's going on.
And the passengers as well. So what do they make of the conversations that are going on? Do you want to, you know, enjoy a reduction in fuel prices so that you don't get to pay more for your transport fares, which will then mean that you're not likely to get the development project you've been wishing for in your community?
Yeah.
Or
are you willing to pay more?
Yeah.
So that you can actually eventually get the developmental projects that you
Let's know what you think. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Arose. We hear you. Happy birthday to Heart of 110 years. So yeah.
Say it well. Is that the way you know?
Happy birthday to Hearts of Oak, 110 years. Out of that, I don't know how many years you've been losing games for if we put your cumulative losses together. But we thank God for your existence.
Who does that? When you're wishing somebody happy birthday, then you're trying to throw in jabs and all of that.
Okay, we'll be back. We're going for a break, and after that, the sports is coming up.
It is the day that determines whether Ghana will still be in contention for a ticket to the next phase of the Qatar 2022 World Cup qualifiers before the crunch tie against South Africa on Sunday. The senior national team squares up against the Warriors of Ethiopia later today, and Milovan Rajvac is an optimistic man. Also, last year, efforts to amend the GFA statutes put together by the now defunct Normalization Committee came to a knot. But the man who led 43 other members of the football governing body demanding a review of the law book says they could be back with same proposals as time is running out to restructure the game in the country. And also in the NBA, it was another night for Steph Curry, another night for the Golden State Warriors as they walked away with another win. Hello, good morning. I am Muftau Nabila Ablai, and this is AM Sports. Let's start with the Black Stars, who come up against Warriors in the penultimate World Cup group stage qualifier in South Africa later today. Head coach Milovan Rajvac is aware of the threat of Ethiopia, saying South Africa were lucky to win back-to-back against them. There's more in this report by my colleague, Asad Bidiakum.
The Black Stars trained at Orlando Stadium on Wednesday night ahead of the penultimate game against Ethiopia on Thursday. The four-time African champions were in high spirits as they fine-tuned preparations for the make-or-break game. Ghana is second in Group G of the 2022 World Cup qualifiers with just 2 games to spare. Head coach Milovan Rajvac has backed his charges to secure an important win against Ethiopia.
Sa visine da dosta trče, tako da kažem moramo mnogo ozbiljno prići sutrašnju utakmicu.
We all know what is at stake, so we only have one plan, to win the match and the next match after that, so we don't have any other agenda apart from winning those matches and securing our place for the next round. I think we are playing against a very good team. If you look at the matches they played against South Africa, I think South Africa was very lucky in these matches. They are a good team. They play a lot of passing game, you know, and as you know, we are never underestimating anybody, but we know our quality and what we are capable of doing. So I have absolute faith in my players. They can go tomorrow, go outside on the pitch and deliver the performance which will bring victory for ourselves.
The Black Stars are without Thomas Partey, who scored 2 goals in Ghana's double-header against Zimbabwe. The Serbian coach has decried the absence of the Arsenal midfielder, but insists he has quality midfielders to replace Partey.
U najvećem timu igra kod nas, ali drugi koji uđe, na njima je da uhvate šansu, tako da je to velika šansa za one koji dobiju poverenje.
Yeah, he delivered excellent performances in the previous matches and scored some goals, but you know, this is football. When you don't have some players, you have other players to step in, you know, so this is how football works. So we always have trust in other players that can step in and deliver good performance and help the team to achieve the victory.
Captain of the team, Andre Ayew, is relishing a 3rd World Cup appearance after Ghana missed out on the 2018 edition of the competition.
In a way, saying that I've been lucky enough to have 2, and then I won the 3rd one. So I don't look at it like pressure, but like a desire and wanting to make my nation and myself proud. So it's not just for me personally, because like you said, I have done 2. But me being able to qualify the squad will open doors for a lot of my younger colleagues. So we are going to fight and do everything to go to the World Cup because I want to represent my nation in the biggest tournament in the world.
After the Ethiopia game, the Black Stars turned their attention to the crucial game against South Africa at the Cape Coast Stadium on November 14.
Meanwhile, Ghanaian midfielder Isaac Kofi is certain playing Ethiopia in the enemy's territory should not be a worry. He was speaking to my colleague, Ulrike Ampofor, on Joy Sports today.
As a nation, we have to, first of all, be very, very focused because we have to get to the South African game with an opportunity to qualify to the playoffs of the World Cup. So when we go there preoccupied with regards to the location or the venue, then it means that we are not focused. And I think that what South Africa chosen as the venue will give Ghana is the good pitch. So we might play on the good pitch, which is going to, I think personally, boost our chances of beating the Ethiopians, because playing on a good pitch, you see that the quality of the players will come out and then they are able to play good football. And looking at individuals, Ghana and Ethiopia, definitely we have the quality, but on the day of the game, it comes down to motivation and who wants it more. And then I definitely think Ghana needs and wants it more. So we'll definitely go out there and still beat Ethiopians.
Let's take a look at the fixtures of the World Cup qualifiers for today. And we start with that of Africa. And definitely, you know, the Black Stars will come up against Ethiopia in South Africa. There's also the fixture involving Zimbabwe and South Africa. And you can see Tanzania, they will come up against DR Congo. Uganda will play Kenya. Benin will play Madagascar. Congo will come against Namibia. Rwanda will also play Mali. And then South Africa versus Zimbabwe. That game kicks off at 7 p.m. Ghana time. And that will be 9 p.m. South Africa time. If you want to follow it, you can do that. Let's take a look at the fixtures for that of Europe. And most of the nations are also getting ready. Germany, they have already qualified to the FIFA World Cup, but other countries are still struggling. Let's take a look at Armenia versus North Macedonia. Azerbaijan will come up against Luxembourg. Russia will play Cyprus. Germany, who have already qualified, will come up against Liechtenstein. Greece versus Spain. Malta versus Croatia. Republic of Ireland versus Portugal. Romania versus Iceland. Slovakia versus Slovenia. These are the fixtures for Europe, and with Germany already qualified to the FIFA World Cup, is just one of those training sessions ahead of the main competition. Let's talk the Women's CAF Champions League, where Hazaka's ladies, who have already qualified to the semi-final, is leaving no stone unturned as they face Wadigla later today in the last group stage game. Head coach Yusuf Basiga says his girls are not getting carried away by their performances so far.
The game is not going to be an easy game because Wadi still have the hope that winning or beating Azaka's ladies will brighten their chance to qualify to the next stage. So it means they'll come all out, and we are also going into the game with all seriousness because I've made them to be aware that our concentration levels will be very high. They should keep their head on and then see how we can tame them.
Every Ghanaian is rooting for Hasmal to win the trophy. There were 1 or 2 cautions in your first game. Will you do any changes due to the caution?
Yeah, I wouldn't take much risk for using those players, but I think I have backup for them.
What will be your final message for Ghanaians, and what should the entire nation expect at the end of 90 minutes?
As usual, their support, their prayers is very, very important to us. And for that matter, we still expect that they keep on praying for us, and we also make them happy. But as a result of the outcome, that they also become happy. So they should rally behind us in prayers and support.
Still on women's football, the Chief Executive Officer of Asante Kotoko, Nanaya Amponsa, has revealed the Porcupines will soon have a female club attached to them after getting approval from the board.
We have decided that we don't want to buy a bus because we don't have the finances to invest into a bus now. but we want to have it on sponsorship. And we discussed at length, and I can assure you that it won't be long. You see a new bus, and it's going to be on sponsorship, all things being equal. We discussed at length, and we believe that we're going to close that in no time, and we'll have our new bus. In terms of the women's team, we discussed at the board level. We had approval to go ahead with it. So together with Madam Evelyn Isiasari, who is very astute in women's football, we are putting in plans to ensure that latest by next season we have our women's team in place. But we know that for all this to be appreciated, the main men's team has to perform to bring joy to various homes, so that we can pay some attention to the youth team and the women's team as well.
Last year, 43 members of the Ghana Football Association, led by Brona Ahafo Region Football Association Chairman, Rev Jamra, made proposals to review the current statutes of the Football Association. Their calls were to expand parts of the statutes that want the Division 1 league clubs reduced from 48 to 18, and also expand the current members at the Executive Council level. These proposals were rejected by the FA as they could not secure approval from FIFA. Rav Jamra tells Joy Sports they could return to Congress with same proposals as the new structure of Ghana football takes effect next year.
I think last year, together with some 43 other clubs, I had tried bringing a proposal for amendment to Congress. I mean, I remember in 2019 when the normalization committee were hesitant, we're not too pleased with the statute that were given us. So indeed we didn't want to adopt the statute then, but again we came to a consensus that it made a lot of sense to adopt it then, so that going forward we could make certain amendments to areas that we felt needed some adjustment. So at the back of drop of that, together with some 43 other clubs, we decided to embark on proposal for amendment. Unfortunately, one, we're told we're caught by time, and then also the document was forwarded to FIFA. There was a letter from FIFA asking the Executive Council or Congress as a whole to hold on until maybe the right time where they think football would have stabilized then, so that we can maybe bring about the proposal for amendment. I know it's something which is very much still on the cards. I've had to answer questions on that as to whether we're going to bring back that proposal to Congress. This year, for instance, we're hoping that, the difficulty is that if you're not careful, you always miss the time count, in the sense that you're not too sure when the date for Congress would be announced. And so each time it is announced, you realize that you are behind time. So, but I'm confident that next year, the Executive Council or the industry as a whole may want to look at those proposals that we made. Because for me, I do not think it was something that was for just my interest alone or the benefit to me alone. It was for the total good of the football industry. And so if at Congress we deliberate on the matters and we feel that it is something worth considering, then of course we would adopt same. The fact that everything is going to be adopted, en bloc. So for me, it was quite unfortunate that some people saw it as a way of, taking a dig at the normalization committee or the current FA administration headed by my good friend Keto Kreku. It was far from that. It was something for the good of the entire industry. And so I want to believe that going forward, we may have to revisit that issue and see if it makes sense to bring the proposal to Congress for approval.
This very issue will be gaining more prominence in the coming days because it has started on the WhatsApp groups of the Ghana FA and their members, and probably it could be up there. Remember, we did mention that they want an extraordinary Congress to review the statutes of the Ghana Football Association. Now let's talk about NBA, where last night was another night for Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors as they defeated the Timberwolves 123-110. TMS. On this note, we say thanks very much for joining us for AM Sports. I am Muftau Nabila Abla. The show continues right after this.
Well, welcome back. This is still the AM show, and Israel has left me because he's going on a little adventure, and I'll be bringing you all those details as soon as he's ready. But why don't we talk about the Volta region and what's been happening over the past few days? So residents of Fuveme and the Volta region are now resorting to palm fronds and thatch to build their houses, and they're saying it doesn't make economic sense to put up expensive or concrete buildings which are always being destroyed by tidal waves. The community is one of the many areas devastated by a storm surge that hits the coastline of the Volta region. Maxwell Adbaba visited the community, and he's telling us that the only school there and some residential homes were destroyed.
It is still high tide at Fuveme. The tidal waves that hit this community left in its trail uprooted coconut trees, collapsed residential structures and school buildings. 60-year-old Knowledge Diwanu giving instructions to a carpenter who is removing the roofing sheets of what he now describes as his former building. He says he was in his room when the disaster struck. Like him, many residents have lost hope that the situation will get better. He says many of them are now resorting to palm branches and thatch for their buildings as they fear any other expensive material used will be a wasted investment.
I can say that I was born in 1974 in my house. This is my house. From here to the seashore is about 1,500 meters when I was very young. Yeah, 1,500 meters from the sea when I was very young. But up to this time, you can now see the sea from here is about 30 meters. So the sea is gradually coming, getting nearer to us. Since I was in 1980s to 1990s, the sea is coming gradually. We are shifting from concrete to coconut branches because of the sea waves. Because if you build the house, the sea destroys. Nobody do anything for us. In 1998, the sea destroyed the Fuveme land. It destroyed some part of the Fuveme land. Therefore, people relocated somewhere in part of the Fuveme again. But in 2016, the sea has destroyed the Fuveme again and destroyed the property of the government, that is the building of the school building. The school has been destroyed by the tidal waves in 2016. So they relocated and built another school at a new place called Agokaji. It's also a suburb of Fuveme. Agokaji is a suburb of Fuveme. So the engineers, they all come and make assess and they do the assessment that the school can be relocated there so that the sea will not destroy it. And by that time, the place where the school was relocated was about 1,000 meters from the sea. But now you can see it is about 25 to 30 meters from the sea, and the sea has destroyed the school too, and destroyed the property of the people, the houses and everything, the poultry, which people keep for their food. The sea has destroyed and destroyed our properties, our houses too. And now, as I'm talking now, some of us, we don't have no place to sleep, and we don't have no food to eat too, because if the sea rough, we cannot go to fishing. So, and because of we don't get any place to sleep, we don't get any place to stay, going to work is a problem for us. So this thing is happening for a long time when we were very young, but no solution is coming for us, or nobody is helping us. So we are appealing for the government of Ghana today, the President, the Excellency of the Republic of Ghana, the Minister for Works and Housing, who is responsible for sea defense, should come to the village, the Fuveme, should come and see what is happening here. This thing happening here is very serious than any disaster happening in our coastal area here. The sea has destroyed it, and we remove the slate and put it somewhere, because we don't get any place to make another structure again. So we are just in the we are stranded. We don't have no place to stay. So even if rain is falling, it falls on us, because we don't have no place to stay. Because for me to go to my brothers and sisters, they too, they don't have any place to stay. there is water in the houses of the people. So people are suffering a lot. So we are appealing for the government of Ghana to come and do groin or sea defense for us. This is happening for a long time when we are very young, but nobody is pleading us. I don't know what I'll say. So we are suffering. We are also human beings like the other people in Ghana. And we are also Ghanaian. We also vote for the party. As I'm talking now, I am electoral area coordinator of MPP in Achiteti here. As I'm talking now, I don't have no place to sleep. It's a problem.
So wait, you now don't have a place to sleep or what?
I don't have no place to sleep.
Really?
This is my house. I don't have no place to sleep. I and my wife and my children, we don't have no place to stay. Now, I was in the room where the sea entered the room. Then I called my wife that she should get out with my children. My mother too is an old woman, so she cannot walk. And my in-law too is also an old man. He cannot also walk. So I have to take them, I have to go and call some people so that we take them from the water. I put them at a certain place where the water is not coming too much at that place. So they are also in the water, but the water is not coming at that place too much. That is the problem we are having now. A lot of the people in the village, all of us, even the Achiteti too, which people are saying that the school children should go there, that place too is not safe.
Unless they can't, they can't make something here.
Moses Akoli is the community leader of Fuveme. He says they have given up on using expensive materials for their buildings because they always end up in the ocean.
Formerly, the community is far from here. It's far from here. But through the sea, the tidal of the sea, that is why we came here. So formerly, the town is not here, Fuveme community is not here. But through the tidal waves of the sea, that is why we came here. Formerly, we used block to build our houses, but at now we are using the coconut branches to build our house because we can't use the block to build our house again because the sea is taking the houses and then the block away. Sunday, the sea is very, very rough, and the land is flooded with water. So for that, we can't stay in the water, so we relocate ourselves from this place to the other place. Now we need help from the government, but because we have no amicable solution to solve this erosion problem. So we need the government to come and help us do some work for us so that it can protect the land for us.
Part of the Agokeji and Fuveme communities are already under the ocean. And these buildings are daily reminders to residents about the impacts of climate change. Many of them know that in 5 years' time, their villages will be no more. They'll be completely submerged. Some of them have already started removing the roofing sheets of their buildings. They say that their buildings cannot withstand the anger of these tidal waves.
So from our change of subject,
I'm now at the Fuveme Basic School where final year students are preparing for their final examinations next week. According to teachers, over 200 students now study in 2 classrooms after tidal waves destroyed portions of the school on Sunday. Francis Nomanyu is a teacher at the Fuveme Basic School. He says the situation is affecting academic work.
Okay, this class used to be the JHS3 class. Once we have this class, the first one, JHS3. Once we have the JHS1 and 2 there.
Okay.
And this used to be our staff, where we sit as teachers. Yeah, this class, yeah. This is where we sit, the staff common room for the teachers. And then this is class 6. So, you see, as you can see, we don't have enough classroom earlier. So we combine class 6 and then class 5 in this class.
Okay.
Yeah, and over here we have class 3 and 4 here.
Okay.
And you have class 1 there, class 1 and 2 there, and then KG1 and KG2 there.
Okay.
That is how we used to live in the school.
And that has been destroyed?
Yeah, it has been destroyed. Yeah, I was posted to Fuveme around September 2014 from college. So basically, Fuvama is around very close to Bokbobo. That is where we used to call Fuvama. So I was posted there. So the first day I was going there, it was so hectic. I have to walk from Ashteti to Fuvama, very far. And when I got to the school, we have some beautiful structures, and then we have from KG1 to class 6, and also another classroom that is from JHS1 to JHS3. We also have the teacher's bungalow and then the headmaster's office. These are all the facilities we have at the school then. So it was so refreshing, a fresh teacher from college posted to such an environment. It came to a time and then people came and they were talking of relocating the school to this new place, this place where we are currently. Then this place was, we say, a safe haven. And they were thinking of relocating the school to here. And then we were also saying that, no, there's a need for us to have a permanent solution to this problem. And that is the sea defense. But then they said, oh, they have to relocate the school to this place. And this is where we are now. And as you can see, the sea has taken over this place too. So in a nutshell, the permanent solution for this problem is the sea defense. Currently, we have 2 classrooms, as you can see. This building is used to be 6 classrooms, but the 4 of them has been destroyed by the sea. Now we have only two classrooms. And then from KG1 to JHS2 are occupying 1 classroom, and the Form 3s are in 1 classroom too. That is what we are doing now. For that, no effective teaching can go on when we combine, let's say, from KG1 to JHS3. We cannot do any effective teaching. So we are only attending to the JHS3 for now because they will be starting their BEC on Monday. That is 15th of this month.
This is not the first
Koku
time.
Awuye is the Municipal Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers. He's here to do an assessment of the situation. He says urgent government intervention is needed.
This is not the first time this is happening in this environment. It has been happening every year. 1999, I was here to visit the school and to see the staff. And then I went back to report this to the directorate with the mind that they will do something about it. Nothing was done. And then last year too, 2020, the same problem happened. And I was here with the General Secretary of NAT, where we donated life jackets to the school. And then come 2021, the same problem has brought us here again. Look at the entire school infrastructure. It has been taken over by the tidal waves. So this is the situation. It has been happening every year. It has become a ritual. But looking at the situation now, this one is more devastating, where the children are to stay and then study, have been taken over by the sea. So now we have about 234 pupils in this school. And then we have only 2 classrooms left. So what the headmaster did was to combine them into these 2 classrooms. And then the teachers go in turns to what? To teach them generally. Because each class has a combination of about, because we have KG to J3. So it means with that small classroom, we have about 6 classrooms combining. And when you look at it professionally, it's not the best way to go. But alternatively, the teachers have no choice. And that's the only way they can manage it for now. So now we are appealing to the government, especially the President, His Excellency, Nana Akufo-Addo, that should come to the aid of these young children so that their future will not be halted. Because look at what we are experiencing now from Monday 15th, those in Form 3 will start their BEC exams. Now they have no place to sit and study. and it will affect them. Yeah, where the next school is located, it will take about 15 minutes for the kids to move from this community called Fuveme to the nearest town called Atiketi. And it is very hectic because they have to walk in the sand because no vehicle can move there except 4x4. So meaning they have to walk every day 15 minutes from this community to Atiketi and back.
And our hearts go out this morning to all the residents of that area who've lost their homes, are homeless this morning, the school children who have to cram into 2 classrooms and to be able to get an education, and the fact that this keeps on happening over and over again. We hope that this time, maybe, hopefully, something will be done that will have long-lasting consequences and implications for the residents in that area. Of course, we'll keep our eye on that, and if anything comes up, well, of course, we'll let you know, definitely. So why don't we do some NSMQ now? How's your school doing? If you've been watching, if you've been following, how is your school doing? We're going into the knockout phase, so you lose, you're out. You lose, you're out. You lose, you're out. That's like the heartbreaking part of the NSMQs. You know that there's no hope anymore. If you lose, you're gone. So we're going to just take a quick break and bring you up to speed on what's happening with NSMQ. And then we'll be interacting with you on Facebook. So why don't you go over to our Facebook page. We have a question for you. Love if you get live and interactive with us on Facebook. And when we come back, also some more trivia for you on SMQ. And then I really would love to know, how's your school doing? Are you still feeling hopeful that your school will win? Right after this. Okay, so we're talking NSMQ. If you're just joining us, this is the AM show. And we posted on our Facebook page, Joy News, the question of the day. So this is our question of the day, and you get it right for 3 points. Okay, so the question is, which 3 schools have never participated in the regional qualifiers? Which 3 schools have never participated in the regional qualifiers? Okay, so some of you have sent in your answers, and a lot of you are getting it wrong. Because I'm not going to tell you why you're getting it wrong, but you're getting it wrong. So let me just read through some of your answers. So it's which 3 schools? Okay, so George Adai Champa says Prempeh College. 3 schools, George, 3 schools, not just one. Tahiru says Presec, Prempeh, and Adisadel. Mohammed says Wesley Girls, Prempeh College, and Adisadel. Daniel Abekanyama says Prempeh, Presec, Adisco. George says Presec, Legon, Wesley Girls High School. Amana says none. Seth Awuni says Prempeh, Presec, and Adisco. Boniface goes with Prempeh College. Danny Boy says Adisadel, Prempeh, and Wesley Girls have never done the pre-mills before. I think he meant to type prelims before. So those are your answers. But let's open the phone lines, and then you can call in and answer, see if you get that question right. So which schools have never gone to the regional qualifiers? They've never participated in the regional qualifiers. The options are Wesley Girls, Prempeh College, Presec, Accra Academy, Adisadel College, and Ola SHS in Ho. So out of these 6 schools, which 3 have never participated in the regional qualifiers? Love to hear your thoughts on that. 0302-211-691 or 0302-211-692. Tell me which 3 schools you think, and also tell me how your school is doing. How hopeful are you that you're going to take the cup this year? And what would it mean to you if your school won? I've always wondered why people get so excited. Like, you're not even in the school anymore, you know. But you get so excited, you know, about how well our schools go. And of course, all the women in Ghana are rooting for a girls' school to win this year. So we'll see how that'll go as well. 0302-211-691 or 692. 0302-211-691. or 692. Okay, Felix is calling from Kumasi. Felix, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, so.
Shall us have some fufu pie this morning, or you've been doing bread and egg?
Nah, this morning,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so searching for one.
Okay. All right. So what's your answer? Which 3 schools out of the 6 do you think have never been in the regional qualifiers?
So it's Wesley Girls High School, Protect Legon, and Addis Ababa Cali.
Okay, interesting. I'll let you know when we finish if you got that right.
It's Augustus Cali.
Hey, Ogasco. All right. So you feel like Ogasco can win this year?
This year?
Yes.
This year, I took most of their interesting and best candidates coming up.
Okay, I see. Why do you think that? You've been following them?
Oh, yeah, from the regionals, and I think for Central Region, the regional qualification, the regional championship, in fact, they won.
Okay.
And they are good. Yeah.
They are good. So you'll be joining Kojo Yankson and Nathaniel Atto to make noise this year?
Oh, this year? So in fact, if you meet them, like, yeah, they are dead.
I see. Okay. All right. So let's go to Edward in Kumasi. Edward, good morning.
Morning, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm doing very well. Okay, so I'm giving you 6 schools. Out of the 6 schools, which 3 do you think have not been in the regional qualifiers?
Prempeh College.
Google
and Protect.
Prempeh College, where?
Prempeh College. Protect. I think these 2 are.
Hey, Edward, you are just doing trial and error, eh?
Nah.
Because okay, you changed your answers. Okay, I hear you. I'll let you know if you got them right. But what school are you rooting for this year? Eduardo. Okay, we lost Edward. He's just about to tell us which school he's rooting for. So phone lines are opened. Let's know which out of these 6 schools, which 3 out have not been to the regional qualifiers. Ransford also joining us from Kumasi. Ransford, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, so do you want to answer the question for me? Which 3 schools out of these 6 have never participated in the regional qualifiers?
Prempeh College.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine, thanks.
I can't hear you.
Prempeh College, Addis Ababa, and Protect Legon.
Okay, I see. Well, I'll let you know if you're right. What school are you hoping will win this year?
Oh, my school, Prempeh College.
Hey, I see. Okay. Have they been doing well so far? Have you been following it?
Yeah.
And
last year we presented E squared, that's Ernest and Eden, but it didn't go on for us. So this year too, we are presenting the same thing.
The E square now. Hey, I see Ransford. Okay, well, all the best
this year too, we are presenting the same E squared.
I see.
That's the same. Evans and Eden again.
Evans and Eden again. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, great stuff. All right, well, all the best to you and Prempeh College. Ayite is calling from the Eastern region. Ayite, good morning.
Good morning, madam.
But Ayite, what are you doing in the Eastern region? Are you a girl?
Actually, we are just suspected because we are just speaking. The starting of the SNSD.
I see. Okay. Okay. So out of the 6 schools that I've given you, the 6 options, which 3 do you think have never participated in the regional qualifiers?
It's this you are asking those Abisko, Istek, and Prempeh College.
I see. Okay. I'll tell you if you got it right. So what school are you hoping will win this year?
Oh, I'm just hoping that this year one of the girls should win and definitely have some money to Kroboke.
Okay. Okay. As long as you're supporting women, I'm with you. So all the best to Krobo girls. Thank you so much for calling us, Ayite. Be safe out there. Ricky is calling us from Keta. Ricky, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Are you safe? Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Yes, safe.
We thank God. Okay. So the 6 schools that I've given you, which of the 3 do you think have never participated in the regional qualifiers?
Yes, I think Prempeh,
Adisado, and Gehe.
Okay.
All the rest have been to regionals before. Preferred of all have also been in regional.
Okay, so Prempeh, Gehe, and Adisco.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good stuff. I'll let you know if that's the correct answer. But what school are you rooting for this year?
Keta.
Keta.
Keta school, yeah.
I see. How well have they done in the past few years?
Oh, so far we've been 3 consecutive semi-finalists, and this year we are taking a cup.
Okay. Well, all the best to you then. I hope you do well. I really hope you do well. Okay, so Emmanuel is also calling us from Keta. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning, madam.
Are you okay? Is everything okay?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So what's your answer? Which 3 schools have never participated in the regional qualifiers?
Wesley Girls. And then Ola.
Okay, Wesley Girls, Presec and Ola.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. What school are you hoping will win this year?
I'm going for Mount Carmel Girls in Tejuma.
Hey, Emmanuel. It's far, Papa. It's like...
I think yeah, actually been qualified. They did very well. So
I see. Okay, okay. Well, you never know. All things are possible, right? So, okay. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. And your hope is very, very hopeful. Because that's quite far. Okay, so that's our NSMQ trivia for this morning. And I think I'm going to tell you the correct answer. Before I do that, though, the 2021 National Science and Maths Quiz is produced by Primetime Limited and sponsored by the Ghana Education Service in partnership with APSA Ghana. Broadcast of the National Science and Maths Quiz on Joy News is supported by Cowbell, Papa's Pizza, Ace Medical Insurance, Tampico, DBS Industries Limited, Smart App, ULessing, and Kings Group Limited, and Dole Yogurt as well. So thank you to all of our sponsors and our friends for bringing us the National Science and Maths Quiz. It's so much fun competing on this level and knowing that, you know, we're affecting people's lives and making science and maths more attractive and interesting and for our kids. So the 3 schools that have never been in the regional... Oh, I was going to tell you the answer. Okay, all right. Gomez says I shouldn't tell you the answer. That there was this proposed strike that we were hearing about because of the prices going up and all of that, Chocho drivers. But apparently the strike isn't happening. So we're going to speak to the GPRTU General Secretary so that he will tell us what changed their minds. And then after that, hopefully we're able to cross over to Israel, who's out there in a Chocho sweating and can't wait to laugh at him. But let's talk to Godfred. Hello, Godfred.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you too?
I'm very well, thank you. Do you mind just going over your last name for me?
Come again?
Do you mind going over your last name for me?
Yes, it is Abulbiri.
Abulbiri, okay.
Abulbiri, yes.
Abulbiri, thank you. So good morning to Mr. Godfred Abulbiri. He's a GPRTU General Secretary. So you were supposed to go on a strike. What happened? Why did you change your minds?
Well, I believe our issue or our decision to hold the press conference was to compel government to hear our plight.
Mm-hmm.
So shortly after our press conference, we were called that same day to meet the sector minister. And which, of course, after we went there, all the issues we had were contending with were tabled, and then we had to present them in a petition form to the minister to be carried out.
Okay.
Straight to the presidency, such that something would work on it before the budget statement is read coming Monday.
Okay. So what were some
after
of
that discussion, I believe possibly what we were asking for, there are indications that government will listen. So when you are asking for and then pressures are on the way, you don't still go ahead to do strike.
Okay. What were some of the issues that you tabled that you're asking the government to look at before the budget?
Some of the issues we were asking at the press conference include the removal of taxes.
Mm-hmm.
that has actually caused the price build-up up to 6.90 per liter.
Okay.
And then we mentioned the price stabilization one as government suspending it was not enough. Government should just cap it off. And we equally mentioned this energy sector debt recovery levy. And we mentioned this special petroleum tax levy, which is something we believe that all of them are just a source of income or source of revenue for government. We are quite oblivious that government makes money through revenues, through taxes. And we cannot ask government to stop. But we think that some of them are duplications. And then they can cut them off. And rather, let us hold on with the current phase. It will help to alleviate some of the pressure on the traveling public.
Okay, so you were really just asking about the taxes. That was the only issue? There was nothing else?
Yes, nothing else.
Okay, so they said that, okay, they're going to have a look at it and then, see what they can do in the budget statement. Do you have faith that it's going to change?
Come on?
I'm saying, do you have faith that things will change? That
yes,
something will be done?
From the discussions, we have.
Okay, so what was in the discussion that, gave you that faith that, something will be done?
It was not only the Secretary Minister, but quickly the Information Minister was part of it. And then after we submitted the petition, they had asked that they will discuss it at the cabinet level and make some adjustments before the budget statement is read coming Monday. So the timeline was that by Monday, the assurance was timeline, Monday by all means, we'll hear some kind of a relief from our petition on the budget statement.
Okay, so this decision has been made. Do you have all the drivers in support of this, your union drivers? Are they all in support of this decision to wait?
Yes, we are the major head offices of all the transport operators. We have 16 national unions that have come together.
Okay, so what would be enough? What figure would be enough? How much of a reduction would be acceptable for you? Did you table that in your petition?
The closing, the build-up figure stood at 6.1 as at June, which we have increased our fares by 13%. If it's reverted back to 6.1, every operator will be okay. And if it goes below 6.1, operators will definitely also have to reduce their fares.
Okay. Okay, so 6.1 is the figure that you're looking at.
That is where we stood at in June.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I guess we all have to wait till Monday to see if it's going to back to 6.1.
Exactly.
If it doesn't go back to 6.1, what's your plan B?
Come again?
If it doesn't go down to 6.1, what is your plan?
Yes, we also indicated that when the budget comes out and we don't see anything of that sort, the strike action will definitely come. We just don't want to just close up so that we are going to increase fares.
Okay.
So the strike action will definitely come.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we'll wait until Monday and then we'll see. And then we'll have a conversation with you as well to see how you and the drivers are feeling about it. But thank you so much for joining us this morning. Okay, now I want to talk to you for a minute if you're watching us. How has the increase in fuel price affected you? Are you buying more fuel? Well, obviously, you're going to have to buy more fuel for more money, or the same amounts of fuel for more money. Are you going out less? Are you popping your children into a taxi as opposed to driving yourself to take them to school? Have you decreased your rounds? Are you Ubering maybe more? Have you decided to walk the short distances? I don't know. How have the price increase? How has the price increase affected you? How has it changed your life? I'd love to hear from you on that. Call me. Let's have a conversation on fuel. The number is going to go up on the screen, and you can call us from now at 0302-211-691 or 0302-211-691 or 2 over the weekend. I wanted to go to the store, and I thought about the fact that every time I move my car, I visibly see the fuel, like I can see it moving. So I was like, okay, I'm going to walk. came out of the house and the sun was so hot. And I was standing outside the gates weighing which one is worse, the sun burning me or the fact that I'm going to have to buy petrol earlier if I drive out. That's just one of the ways that this fuel hike has affected some of us. But how has it affected you? How are you coping? 0302-211-691 or 692. 0302-211-691 or 692. Also, remember that Israel is out there. He'll be joining us soon. He's going to let us know what's going out there. We were kind of expecting the strike. So, I mean, it's a good thing that has been called off. You know, so people's journeys are not too disrupted. And, you know, town is not nyama because of what's happening. But, you know, we're going to wait until Monday and see if the government will bring the figure down to 6.1 as the GPRTU have communicated. If they do that, then fine. If they don't, then I guess we live to fight another day. Now, the taxes that were slapped onto fuel are going into the government's chest, from which chest funds are channeled to fund development projects. So knowing this, would you rather the taxes are scrapped so that the development project in your community is sacrificed or postponed, or you'll deal with the increase in transport fares so you get the development project? So it's almost like you're having to choose between less expensive fuel, less expensive fuel, less developments in your area, more expensive fuel, more developments in your area. Which one would you choose? Do you want your fuel cheaper and your neighborhood less developed, or do you want your fuel more expensive and your neighborhood more developed? Call me, let me know, 0302-211-691 or 692. Okay, so Mawenyaga is calling me from the Volta region. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
No, I'm good. I'm fine.
Okay. So would you be prepared to pay more taxes?
Yeah, good morning.
Would you be prepared to pay more taxes?
I'm fine.
Okay. Yeah. Maunyaga, I need you to turn off the TV or reduce the volume and talk to me through the phone, not through the TV.
We have to, so that we can get our development project.
Okay, Maunyaga.
Now, I'm now listening.
Very good, very, very good. So, like I was saying, will you pay more so that your neighborhood is developed more? Or do you want to pay less? Maunyaga, turn down your TV. I will beat you this morning. Oh. Turn the volume down.
Yes. No, if you pay less, we are not going. Sorry, madam. I'm saying that we will sacrifice ourselves and pay more so that we get our developmental projects within the country. Paying less, you know, even we have private enterprises which can help us. So, for me, we have to pay more so that we get a development project within the Ghana community. Thanks.
Okay, Maunyaga Atmelo, have a good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, I have Frank calling from Bando. Hello, Frank. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, Frank, so do you mind paying more tax so that you have more schools and more hospitals in your area?
In fact, at the moment, because of COVID, our business has gone down.
Mm-hmm.
So the government must allow us to enjoy the small income in this nation, that we can revive our enterprises. And when things are going well, then we can increase the tax, because our business has gone down. Everything has gone down. And because of the COVID, nothing is going on. So we should allow us to enjoy the little income, that is the fuel money, allow us to enjoy it. When we survive and our business become improvement is coming before they can increase the taxes. So that is my view.
Okay. All right.
Because we need to be alive before we can pay tax. If they increase things and our business collapse, there's no way we can pay the taxes.
Yeah.
So allow us to enjoy the little money.
Okay. I get that.
Very much.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's speak to Gordon in Dansoman. Gordon, good morning.
Morning. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How about you?
Doing great.
Okay, awesome. So, what would you prefer?
I prefer development.
Okay.
But let me go straight to the point. It's a question I would have really loved asking the drivers' union. Are they asking for a reduction whereby there will be a ripple effect to the reduction in fares, or it's a reduction but maintain fares whereby they rather reap the benefits? That's the question. You see, if it is the latter, then it is simply being selfish, and I will ask government to hold on and rather get the money to benefit everybody and not just a few. If it is rather calling for this in order for the poor, mind you, a lot of Ghanaians rather ply the commercial vehicles. Just a few have their own vehicles. So a few who have their own vehicles will rather benefit, drivers will rather benefit, and prices stay steep.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for that, Gordon. Well, let's cross over to Israel, who's out there. He's getting on a trotro. I love this. He's getting on a trotro, and he's telling us what's happening in town.
Yeah, nipa too. I can say that time we try to only any mood in common. Okay. So apparently there's only one slot. Okay, there's only one slot, so we can get to go. So we have to see that, but we're looking. Cameraman, I can't go and leave him, otherwise we can't bring you the show. Let's hope we're gonna get one. It's gonna take a while. Probably very soon we're gonna get one. We'll keep trying, but definitely if we get one of the Alolo buses, that's that we can squeeze in.
Okay, so we're having a bit of a technical issue there with Ishol connecting with us this morning. So we'll go back to him as soon as he's able to connect to us. But I'm still talking to you about what you would prefer in terms of the fuel hikes and the prices going up. Would you prefer that, you pay more money for your fuel, or would you prefer that, you pay less and then there's less development in your region or your area or your constituency? So phone lines are still open, 03. We'll put it up on the screen, and then you can call us and tell us what you think. Do I have Amidou from Obasi still on the line? Okay, so it's 0302-211-691, 0302-211-692. If you're just joining us, we're having a conversation on the fuel price hikes that have gone on over the past few weeks. The GPRT were supposed to go on strike today, but they have said, okay, they've managed to have a conversation with the government, and they're happy to wait until Monday to see if the government will do what they've asked them to do in terms of fuel prices. So that's where we are now. So we're having to wait for the budget to know. But Amadou is back. Amadou, hi, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay,
Okay, so what would you prefer?
Yeah, I want to know whether that's the only tax we need to do to have development or areas or not. If not, that's not the only tax that we have. Then we have just to scrap it, and then we'll reduce the fuel prices so that everybody will be comfortable to travel and then go and buy goods and come and sell. Because that's not the only taxes we need to have development in our areas or in our communities. Because the two boot monies are there. When you even go for electricity bill, there are so many taxes on it. So why are we concentrating on only that taxes to develop our areas? Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
I'm here, Amadou. I can hear you.
So that's if you just reduce the prices drastically, And we the poor people are using the trotros and the commercial vehicle to go around our duties. You understand? So this for me is just reduce the prices so that everybody will afford it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking to Israel, but also real estate company Waylead is 10 years, and the team will be joining us to talk about the journey so far as we celebrate this giant milestone. So much more on the AM show right after this. Okay, so we're joining Israel once again. He's on a trotro somewhere on this continent and bringing us more news.
Because of the
okay, let's take the conversation to the front. Enti ye be nim sese matise mudi unkomo bi wo hono. The problem is Israel. So maybe I ought no or straight. What is it about to so no load no big answer me straight. I'm going to Insaum. So I'm taking Insaum fare. Is it okay? No. I'm going to Amasaman, so I'll board the car and pay the Amasaman fare. The person too is going to Insaum. And then listen. Why do you take droppings? I don't for dropping. Why don't you take droppings and pay more? Because of more than 3 hours.